Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Oof, talk about a rough year for EJ. Okay, this man done had losses after losses after losses after losses, and he comes in the interrogation room being all gleefully and very arrogant and just like very sarcastic. And he's like, listen, you should sign this deal to Fiona. He's like, you're not gonna get a better deal than this. 10 years, and you know, you'd be good. As opposed to if you go to trial, they may sit there and add on another 20 something years. Who knows? Fiona's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And I sat there and I was like, EJ, you came in there with such confidence and grotto and everything like that. And I'm like, let me get this straight. Your whole case, your whole case hindered on what exactly? Sarah, Xander, and Brady's testimony as far as a confession. And she's like, what confession? He's like, well, what are you talking about? It's like, I'm literally just standing watching and I'm just like, EJ, I'll put this nicely. You didn't go to law school, right? Because, like, you do realize that even if she sat there and confessed, even though they said that she confessed to them, that's not enough to sit there and put her in jail for 10 years. You're just assuming that she's just gonna just go with it because she's so afraid and intimidated by you. So she's like, what confession? I have no idea what you're talking about. And at some point, Melinda gets there. Melinda's like, yeah, I'm representing her, and you need to let her go. They do this whole bluffing game at this point. Since his whole case predicated on her confessing to them. And by the way, when Melinda comes in there, Melinda points out just how unreliable that is. Sarah and her flip-flopping stories. Brady, so drunk out of his mind to the point where he thought that he was behind the wheel. And I was sitting there just looking at EJ. Was like, man, that that cocky smile is yeah, I don't see it anymore. Now, this is where we get to the bluff part. Because EJ's like, okay, I'm going to take this to trial. And you'll have the town doctor wheeling herself in a wheelchair. And by the way, she just gave birth, I think, the child is 1 now? You don't think that there's going to be a sympathetic jury? And on top of that, they tend to go really hard on people who drink and drive. So you really want to sit there and not take this deal and go to trial? Because I'm pretty confident in my case. And I'm like, he does actually have a point. But then Melinda's like, again, you have unreliable witnesses. You have no car, by the way, which I was thinking about that when I was at work. It was like, you don't even actually have physical evidence. You just have testimony. And unreliable testimony at best. So she's like, do you really want to sit there and take that to court? And I'm surprised he didn't sit there and call her bluff and be like, okay, let's weigh it. Ultimately, see, that's the problem with a jury, is that jury is supposed to sit there and rely on facts and not necessarily emotion. Given the fact that she is paralyzed, it's a hit and run drug driver. She's a pillar of the community. She's a doctor. She's a healer. And she has a daughter. There's a pretty good chance that it could have went in EJ's favor. And so I'm surprised he really didn't sit there and decide to call her bluff. But he doesn't. And the next thing, he's seeing, Fiona going free or whatever, and him just saying, well, this isn't over or whatever. I was like, this isn't over. I thought you. Wait, bro, really? But I guess he played chicken and he lost. So that's going to be another loss on his record. God damn, EJ, did you win anything at this point? Like I said, it's like the year of L's for him. That's the best way I could sit there and describe it. Okay, so before Melinda got there, Melinda was with Stefan. Drew out the papers and was just like, everything is there. It is what it is. It's basic package. All you gotta do is sign it and be done with it. Remember, this is what he was like, all right, listen, I'm done and that's it. So you would think that he would just put on his goddamn big boy pants and just sign the papers. And he's just looking at it, and we're all just kind of like, bro, just sign the papers and be done at this point. Melinda's like, what's the problem? Everything is standard. Like, what's taking so long? And he's like, listen, just give me a minute, pretty much. This is the end of my marriage. It's not like some simple transaction. And so she pretty much kind of like rushes him aside, like, come on, like, what's taking so damn long? Like, you want out of your life, just sign the damn papers at this point. So Stefan says something that's very dickish, right? The kind of for a hot minute made me would be like, F your feelings. It's like, oh, you just want me to sit there and sign it so you can have a shot at me. That chick is pretty hot. Okay? Like, she can pretty much get anybody else. I like boobies, so I don't go that way, but you're not the only good looking person in town. So you might want to sit there and calm your dick for a hot minute. And she gets a pulp on it. Then he's all like, oh, I was just joking. I was like, no, you weren't joking. You were being a dick. But, to be fair, she shouldn't have sat there and rushed him. You're getting billable hours, right? So, like, what does it matter if he takes a while to sit there and sign it or not? Still getting paid. So you walk off with your bit of hurt feelings and pride or whatever, but it's like, if you would have had a bit of compassion for him for a hot minute, he wouldn't have reacted that way. Kristen comes in, because Kristen was talking to Xander, and Kristen's like, so you're gonna sign off the company, right? I mean, you sign over the company, you get the ability, your daughter, your wife gets the ability to walk again, so what's the problem? Just coming over there, you gotta sign those papers or X, Y, and Z happens. So then she goes to Stefan, and Stefan is just like, I don't know if I'm gonna sign it. He starts like tearing up and getting emotional, everything like that. And Kristen's like, listen, I'm not a judge, and I can't sit there and judge you given her own obsession with Brady. So she's like, listen, if you want to fight for your marriage, you fight for your marriage. You get your wife back. Apparently, some woman died. I can't remember her name. Rafe was this saying. So they talked about that for a little bit with Gabby, and Gabby was just like, I don't know if I want, I don't know if I want a divorce. And part of that kind of annoys me a little bit. The other part of me is like, I understand. Because she was just so quick to sit there and just dismiss it. Like, no, I'm done. I'm angry, yada, yada, yada. You sat there and you cheated with her. You cheated with his brother and everything like that. So when he was like, I'm done, she's like, I don't know if I'm going to be done now. It's like, well, maybe if he wants to be done. Now what? Now what do you want to do? You sat there and protest you want to be done. So, like, this is what you wanted. You're getting what you wanted. But on the other hand, I think she probably also kind of came to her senses and was like, hey, listen, I got my revenge. It's kind of even Steven now. I don't know if I want to, divorce my husband at this point. And on the other hand, I do get that. Because Stefan did a lot for her. I mean, he really did a lot for her. And if, you know, she got to a point she started getting spiteful, and I think that's when I had an issue with it. But, I get it. So she's about to, she opens the door and thinking that it's Stefan and it's somebody else that we don't know who it is. Um, and Stefan's about to go to try to get Gabby back, but he gets attacked by some guy that, knocks him out or whatever and sticks a needle in him or something. Um, and Justin comes in there and Justin's like, what are you doing? What God names are you doing at this point? Xander tells him the reason why he's handing over the company. He's like, okay, I see, I understand that. So, he leaves, and Sarah's like, hey, listen, no, you're not going to sit there and give up your father's legacy, our daughter's birthright. And she's like, listen, I accepted that I'm going to be in this chair. It is what it is. And I don't want you doing this. I have a say-so on this. But Xander explains all the reasons why he's cool with it. I mean, hell, to him, his dad didn't sit there and acknowledge him until after he was dead. So there's that. There's also the fact that he's not just doing it for her ability to walk, but also for Victoria. So he pretty much is like, my mind is made up. Kristen gets there, and she gives him part 1 of the antidote. She's like, you get part 2 when you sign it. And just as Xander's about to sit there and sign it, Philip comes in. Now, it's the Rex version of Philip from One Life to Live, which I'm totally cool with. I don't know what's going on with the other one. Maybe he got retired. Who knows? But I'm cool with it though. And hell, it does make sense. That is Victor's other son, and I think that he should probably have a say so in where this company goes. They ain't really divided up. I feel like, I know from what I understand, from what I've heard, that he's going to be well off, regardless if he has a company or not. That's still also his dad's company. So he does have a right to sit there and kind of, stop the sale and junk it, whatever you want to sit there and call it. I get that. And then Sarah sees Fiona out of prison. And, out of jail and just sipping on a martini. Probably at 12 in the afternoon. I guess she doesn't have to sit there and she doesn't have to sit there and do the whole rules thing with not being, not drinking and stuff. If she's going to be a character in the long haul, which I'm totally okay with, I do feel that eventually Xander is going to sit there and get past this. Hell, Xander has done some very reprehensible things as well to Sarah. He's been forgiven. Granted, what she did was bad, but I have a feeling that he's going to forgive her too. Now, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else, but if I forget anything, write it in the comment section below or come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. I'll see you in the next video.